Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Uh, it is fairly early morning on a Monday. I'm actually a little bit behind on making videos, um, partly because I'm just getting over being sick, but not a big deal. Jumping into it right now. Um, some of you guys actually caught it. I tried to do a video or a instant video on Saturday morning. I think it was maybe Friday morning. Um, and I posted it and I realized that my microphone wasn't working. Or you guys realized my microphone was working, partly because I had a new setting on my microphone. I just fixed that and verified that it's working. I did this in the past, partly because I was sick for the last 3 or 4 days and I was um, in my own little world. So I'm going to try to redo the video that I did then. I think I'm a little bit better organized today than I was then because I think it was just one of those where I had the adrenaline of what had happened, as you can probably see in the title of the video. And then I wanted to get some information out. I've done videos similar to this way back in the day. Um, and what I was thinking was I'd like to just talk about really quickly some quick ways that you can do to um, keep yourself alive in Eve. And then also just kind of show you a few little things that I do. There are a lot of different ways that you can stay safe, especially while you're hauling things back and forth. But as you can tell, probably if I remember correctly in the description of the video, I did get my first ship destroyed by another player. Today I was just hauling some random junk, and I'll show you that ship here in a second, from one place to another, and really wasn't paying attention, partly because I was just distracted from being ill and not that big a deal, but I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to make sure and they're really simple things that you don't have to kill yourself trying to get this stuff done. So let's get up and running and I'll go through everything. I made a little bit of a list here, nothing in particular order other than the last one that I have, which is a really, really simple trick. But it can really save you just by knowing the maps and things like that. So, and if it saves one person from this video from getting shot, then that's cool. If you're new to the videos, this is not, I don't really make these as instructional videos. It's just kind of as I'm getting back into Eve and I run into things that I remember or new things that I find. I'm just kind of throwing up videos, usually every other day, um, to just kind of document that experience. Um, Still having a lot of fun with it. So in general, I did get my neurosys. Oh, so if you want to check it out from the chronological order of the videos, there should be a playlist in the description of the video. There we go. Finish that off. Okay, on to the good stuff. So, just a little bit of a history. Uh, I got blown up. Let's show you the map here. Blah 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 blah. A couple of days ago, actually, um, it was my first day I had ever taken off and sick. Just being like I had the flu, like a fluish system symptoms. I actually went to the hospital, worried that I had COVID again. I had it once. That was terrible. But I didn't. I just had the flu. It's running around. And very rare. I don't think I've ever actually taken a full day off of work from other than whenever I had COVID for being sick. Normally, I just force myself to get in there. But man, was I out of it. And I think that was like Thursday. It probably would have been Wednesday night work, Thursday. It'd have been Thursday day. Doesn't matter. Um, so just to pass a little bit of time, I slept a bunch, was playing some Eve, just moving some stuff around, not trying to really do a whole lot. And I've set up my little system down here in Odette. It's one of my little side areas. I'm probably definitely going to move from here, not because it got blown up, but I really don't use this area a whole lot. It was kind of neat when I first moved here, but there isn't a whole lot that I've been doing down there. I've been doing a lot of agent missions, and there aren't a whole lot of agent missions down there. So I am in search of a newer area. Partly, there's a lot of really good areas that I go to that I've when I used to play, I played in the past. I'm really looking for something new, but also fits the bill. So I'm looking at that. But in general, I was flying from HiSec, and if I remember correctly, and we'll look at the Z kill board here real quick. Um, I was flying from Gel through Eglin, which is low sec, to get to Odette. And I was just carrying some random junk that I'd picked up while I was doing. I had my free Neuris that I was flying from whenever I did the career missions, and I'd done some agent missions, um, and was just carrying that back to Odette so I could probably either put it into storage or melt it down so I could build some stuff. Nothing huge. Um, but I did get blown up from the gate going from Gel into Eglin, which partly I was distracted, I wasn't feeling well. Partly the ship really wasn't worth that much, but that's not really an excuse. Um, and in general, I just didn't do the little bits of extra work that you should do just to keep yourself a little bit safe. So I'll go through each one of those here. I got a list here, but basically I got blown up in Eggland and then Odette. Oh, I need to add to that list. I made a list prior to the video. There we go. And um, I'm gonna reaction to tackle. There we go. Okay. I just put a really simple list here of things. This isn't all of them, but I think if people just use these things, and some of them are passive, some of them are active. What I mean by that is if you just passive is you just do these things without thinking about them. You plan things correctly. You don't have to worry about things. Active is you're actively avoiding being shot. um, so maybe I'll just write active or passive in each one. Um, doesn't matter. So in general, you know me. I like to go by. So there's my list. Now you can't see it anymore. Haha. I like to use as many in-game things for Eve while playing. There are a lot of great third-party sites. I'm going to go over three ones that you already know. Some of you guys might already know some of these tricks and trades, but there might be little things in here that I've actually learned over the last right before like the year before I quit. I never knew, and I was using these sites all the time, so maybe it's helpful. But the first one is very simply your in-game map. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going over this, but in general, currently I'm in Odette. Let's say I needed to go through Eggland right here. I can come up here to my configuration settings and I can pick different things here. And I'm sure most of you know about this. But the big one here is your ship's destroyed in the last hour. Other things that you can look for are escape pods destroyed, ships destroyed in the last 24 hours, jumps in the last hour. Little piece of information, but a big one here is ships destroyed in the last hour. It will tell you. So as active in the area it is. So just to give you an example, hover over Egeland. You got 2 ships destroyed in the last hour. So there is a little bit of activity. Does it tell me where those ships were destroyed? No. Were they shot on a gate? Were they shot in combat? Were they shot in um, uh, while somebody was ratting? No idea. But there were 2 shots, so it gives you a little bit of warning there. Just to show you here, if you hover over like the system of Aliot, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. No ships have been destroyed, so it doesn't bring up any information. Now, does this tell you that there are not gankers there? No, it does not. Um, they could have just set up shop 5 minutes ago and they haven't shot anybody yet. But it does tell you, give you a piece of information that's helpful. I love the in-game map, lots of good information there. You get a lot of the same information off of Dotland, but just playing in-game, it's a prettier view of it, and a lot of good information there. That said, we just said about Dotland, so I'll jump into it. You've got Dotland here. Let's say I was flying from Odette to Eggland very quickly and just pull up the system of Eggland. I can see how much activity has been happening recently, how many ships have been killed, how many pods have been killed. There's actually been more action here than normally during the week. Today is a Monday, so that's surprising. Um, Although I think it is getting close. Is it downtime or just did downtime just end? That's weird. They did the daylight savings time, so it's either 41 minutes ago or it's happening soon. Normally not up at this time. Normally I've just gone to bed for my overnight shift, but it is my day off and I get a lot of sleep yesterday. I'm still getting over being sick, but so in general, you can kind of get similar information through Dotland right here. And it'll tell you how active an area is, um, death wise. um, and obviously other information. You guys all know about Dotland. If you're not playing Eve and you don't know about Dotland, pull up Dotland and look at it. Probably one of the two or three most important sites that are out there. I'm going to actually talk about the second most important one here in a second. But Dotland will tell you the activity that's going on there. So that's cool. Um, thirdly, let's go into Z Killboard. Oh, I already have it up here. So we all know Z Killboard. Yay! So this is my character, Amanda Rose, with a Z. I think I actually, on one of my old accounts, have Amanda Rose as one of my characters. I haven't looked it up. I purposely not pulled up any of my old accounts since I came back because I want to focus on just doing this for a while. But long story short, this is the actual kill of my ship. This is, as you can see here, it was a Nereus. And if I jump in here, it'll give me the information about the Nereus and what was killed. As you can see here, I was just flying it, had a bunch of junk on it, just carrying around. But long story short, hey, they got a pretty good drop there. They got about a 70% drop. That's pretty nice. They got some good stuff off me. Um, actually, that was a bunch of junk that they got, but still. Um, and don't poo-poo the fit. I really don't mess around too much with the fit of um, my Nereus's right now. As I get better and I'm hauling more important stuff, I will do the fit. The most important thing here is when you pull up. So obviously, you're going to pull up your character. You can pull up the fit. But for literally about 10 years when I was first playing off and on, I never knew about this part. And I don't know if they added it later on or it's always been there. It's incredibly helpful. Um, and uh, it's something that you can look up. And I'm going to show you on Dotland how to do that. Um, so this right here is where I died. I started on the it'll show you here the location of my death was 17 kilometers off of the Stargate of Gel. Now this is actually important in a couple different ways. Um, and I'll hit the second one next, or in a bit. But the first one is this tells me where I died. Now, in general, why is this important? Well, if I go in and I just type in egg Helen, it'll tell me how many ships have died recently in Eggland and where have they died at if I pull up each ship. Very similar to looking at myself. So scroll on down here. We got a couple pods that were killed. There's other pieces of information that you get off here that can kind of tell you whether or not to be more fearful of flying through a gate. Um, as you can see here, when I'm pulling up Eggland, there's a lot uh, of the same ship here. It looks like an actual battle has happened. Okay. Um, why? Because I'm seeing a lot of the same ship. Also, I'm seeing a mining ship, some mining ships that were destroyed here. So this was probably ships that were killed in a belt or maybe caught on a gate as they were moving as a fleet through and killed, probably at the belt. We can actually look that up here. Let's look at this looks like a retriever or something like that. Is it a bringing this function? We'll pull it up here. It was a retriever, mining barge. Not the smartest to be flying a retriever in low sec. Gonna be honest. Um, I'm not poo-pooing anybody. You fly where however the way you want to do. I probably have done that in the past, back when I was a miner. So I'm not. I'm gonna stop myself right there. I'm an idiot. But in general, if you look here, if you look at the location, asteroid belt, Eglin. So this ship was destroyed in an asteroid belt. Why am I saying all this? Because looking at Zkill board, it'll go chronologically backwards. I'm not seeing any ships here that would tell me that a ship has been destroyed um, on a gate. Let's just see here. Da, da, da. Why am I? Maybe I need to wake up a little bit more. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. So all I need is click on the freaking picture. There we go. So we got Eggland, asteroid belt, sync liaison, boom. So that'll tell you where the deaths most recently have happened. So if somebody's sitting there ganking for a little while, these will show up here. Really quick, easy way for you to find out if it's safe to go through that gate. Now, is it 100% proof? I'm gonna keep saying that. No, like I said, 2, 3 minutes ago, somebody could have set up a gate. They could be moving their gate spots around, but I've got a way to most likely get away from that. So if you have, and this is, do you need to check this all the time? No. If you're flying through with a ship that's very easy to get away from gate camps, um, like a little frigate or something like that, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you're hauling expensive stuff, or you've got a ship that you really like, or if you're just trying to get from point A to point B quickly because you're trying to get to hang out with some friends in another area, one of the worst things that can happen is you get ganked on the way there. So it might be smart to check the kill board just to take a quick second to look around. Um, so that said, see kill board's another way that you can see safe. Did I use any of these the other day? No, I didn't. Um, so that's why I did. Okay, close that. Blah blah blah. Okay, dot land, Z kill board. Don't fly distracted. Real simple. Um, I've said it before. I was sick that day. A lot of times you're just flying around, you're not paying attention. A lot of times you've flown through the same area over and over again and never had any issues. Um, and then the one time you're not paying attention, boom, you die. Um, that's distraction, because you've assumed that you're fine. There's ways to stop yourself from running into that. Um, I think if you were to actively look things up prior to going, that would save you 99% of the time. Um, Other things that you can do where you can do it passively, and if you're not paying attention, just by your actions of flying will save you. First one being, let's say you jump through a gate, and this might be the best um, advice I can give you is to, when I jumped through the gate and I made one fatal flaw. Now, I don't know, I probably still would have died, but I made one fatal flaw when I did this because I hadn't been tackled in a long time. I made a really dumb mistake, but it's called gate crashing. Um, and I went to crash my gate to try to jump out as quickly as possible. Um, and I did it all right. I did, and the most important part that I did was the very beginning, and I did it correctly. You have, I think it's like 30 seconds. You have some time where you're cloaked before you go. Okay. I jumped through. I saw two Gnosises or things like that. Who killed me there? Let's pull it up on Z Killboard. I can tell you. I know there were a couple ships. Let's see here. Amanda Rose. It doesn't matter. I just want to set the scene for you. When I jumped through, I saw obviously that these guys had camped the gate, um, and I was about to die. Your best, if you're flying a non-cloaky, if you just got caught and you didn't pay attention, or you're flying a ship that isn't good at getting away, it's not quick. It can't cloak up really quickly. Um, the simplest thing, especially if you're an alpha, you don't have a cloak, or you can't do the micro warp drive trick or something like that. The best way to do it is to crash the gate. But before you do that, always take a deep breath. I know it sounds dumb, but take a deep breath and look at the area. Okay. I took a deep breath and I quickly looked at the gates. I looked at who was there. I was like, okay, there's a Gnosis out here. There's a couple other ships. Um, they've got a Catalyst or something like that out there. I don't even know what that is. Uh, Catalyst Navy issue. Um, let's see here. There was an Oracle. Wow, a lot of really expensive ships to blow up my little Nereus, but they're making some money off of everybody that they kill. Um, and it's that one there. That's a Vedmak. Long story short, they were going to shoot me. So I took a deep breath. I went, okay, what's my options here? They're going to tackle me before I can warp off. So my ship, I had actually shield tanked it. I didn't armor tank. This was all some expanded cargo holds, which makes my armor low. But I did shield tank it, thinking, okay, maybe if I got lucky one time, I could um, basically align myself to the gate, hit my micro warp drive, and jump through it before they actually blow me up completely. Um, took my deep breath, found my gate that I needed to get to, figured out, looked at who was there, and I was like, okay, now I just need to time this correctly. I need to align the gate, hit my micro warp drive, and jump. Okay, one, and we took my time, and then I said, so I hit align the gate. Obviously, instantaneously they're targeting me, and align to the gate, hit the micro warp drive, and ready to jump. And then I realized I had aligned to the wrong gate because I went too fast, and I think I was sick. I literally aligned to a gate that was like 39 AU away, and I'm like, what? Wait, why am I not moved? What is going on? I'm tackled. I'm dead. And then I quickly jumped away with my pod because you do have a little bit more time because your ship is smaller before they potted me. But in general, somebody's come over to say hi. She heard I died. There she is. If you can't see, I don't know if you can. Do I get the camera up here? Good. Up, you can't see her. There she is. Come on, Maya, over here. She's right on the screen. There she is. There she is. You always got to say hi once. She was sleeping when we started the video. She's like, "Why are you doing this video so early?" Now she's climbing on top of me. Yep, yep. I like you too. Okay, are we done? Are we done? No, we're not done. I was telling a story here. You good? Go lie down. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You're awesome. Okay. So in general, take your time. Don't be sick. Don't be distracted. That's what you got there. Okay. So I want to get to the one. I think it's the last thing that I want to hear, but this is the one thing passively. Oh no, no. Before I do the last one, I have one other one real quick. This is really simple. It's actually one of the most fun things I ever did when I first started playing about 12 years ago. So I got two things here. The first one was I was part of an alliance. My first alliance I was ever part of. There were a bunch of miners. They had, and I didn't know a lot about what I was doing. Um, but it was the first times I was really using comms and things like that. And um, they needed to haul stuff from, what was the name of that system? It was a long, long time ago. It was over in, when I see the name, I'm going to laugh because it was in Canid. I think it started with a D. Yeah, Danera. So we were based out of Danera here, and they had been mining and mining and mining, and then they got their big ships to haul everything with and they needed scouts, and this was just kind of cool. I mean, so I got into a little ship. There were about 3 or 4 of us. They had these big ships, and it was a slow progress, and they had about 10 haulers that they were bringing to one of the major trade hubs. And what they would do is, it was my first fleet action where we were scouting in front of them. We were flying ahead of base because these ships now were a lot more expensive. So it wasn't about going from low sec to high sec, or high sec to low sec, or low sec to null sec, or going from in. It was more about the cost of the items that we were taking. So we actually flew ahead of them as a group. Um, and also, we left one guy behind to make sure people weren't coming up behind us. And we would relay that whether or not an area was clear or not. And we actually got hunted at one point of time by some gankers, or are they? Would it be called gankers, or I always forget. Doesn't matter. Which is fine. That's what they do. It made content for us. I was having a bunch of fun. We ended up about halfway on our trip to the main area, docking up because uh, our scouts had actually figured out that they were forming fleets to try to stop us and kill our ships. So we ended up just docking up and waiting about 1 or 2 days before we moved on again. It was really kind of fun. But what I would say is, if you have a large haul of things that you want to take, get a scout for you. Or a lot of you guys out there have a second or third account. Use that account and move it that way. Really simple, probably the safest possible way you can fly. 100%, well, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, you shouldn't be killed because you'll have uh, your your valuable ship will only kill because your scout out in front of you will be telling you and communicating you that information. As long as they're doing their job, you should be fine. My last thing that I want to talk about, probably the best one out of all of them, it's really, really simple, is to just plan your trip and add in this one little thing. I'm going to give you two examples, and one that I should have done uh, the other day when I did die. If I would have just done this one thing, there's probably a 99.9% chance that I wouldn't have died. Um, and that is, let's just pull up where I was, and I'm going to give you this example. I'm going to show you another one that I've used in the past. I use this all the time. Let's go back to Sync Liaison. So when people gank, or whenever they gate camp and shoot people, they're looking for high traffic areas that they can go in, especially in Losec, because Losec has those guns. They want to get in there. They want to maybe do it for about 30 minutes and shoot as many people as possible, and then move on and find another spot. Because even though it's Losec and there isn't any police, there are other groups that will come out and try to shoot them because they're looking to shoot other people too. Or if they do shoot somebody on a gate, they may come back with their friends. So they'll usually move around a bit, but they'll usually look for highly trafficked areas. It's kind of dumb to just sit on a gate that doesn't have anybody coming through it. So a very simple trick right here that I should have used the other day and should have been constantly using all the time is when I'm going from Gel through to Eggland to get to Odette. What I should have done is take one extra jump, because, and I haven't done the research on this, but I would bet you that the two spots that people are being blown up at on gates in Eggland are going from Gel into Eggland, or Orkel into Eggland, because these are very simple auto map. It's the fastest way to get from point A to point B. So let's say I'm coming from Bropelli, or whatever that name is, and I want to get to Odette. I'm going to fly through this system. I'm going to hit Gel, and I'm going to hit Eggland. Boom. So these guys are going to gate camp this spot, or they're going to gate camp there. If I would have just flown one extra jump up to Aetion, that would have had me go through a separate gate, which I'm betting that 99.9% of the time is never gate camped, and I would have just bypassed easily their gate camp. And if I do that every single time, yeah, it takes me 30 seconds longer to go through there. But if I'm flying a hauling ship, maybe a minute. Um, if I'm flying a hauling ship, I should always be flying through there, because this one time that I get blown up, I'm dumb and I should have done that. I would not have died that day because of that. I'll give you another example of this. Um, and then it'll probably be, we're getting, this video's gone longer than I was expecting. Okay. Hello, Totland. There we go. This is a very simple one. We're going to go Placid. I used to live in Placid for a long time. I love Placid. Um, Most of it is low sec. There's an island area here. There's entrances to all sorts of different areas. Got some low sec, some faction warfare. Great little areas, and it's got a smaller trade hub in Stackmont. It's not one of the major trade hubs, but you can get pretty much anything you need there. The fastest route to get out of Stackman is going through Austingall. So my second example of this would be a lot of times this gate here to Austingall is gate camped, especially by large groups. They really like to gate camp that, uh, and they're the types that will gate camp it and then also defend their gate camps too. So never haul anything through there. But I'll tell you this, if you fly from Stackman over to Dastrins and then fly up through Austingall, now I'm not going to guarantee it, but I've never seen a gate camp there. And it just gets you right past everything to get from point A to point B, one extra jump, and you're good to go. Perfect example of just a spot that you don't have to worry about. Will it work 100% of the time? No. If you do this, you add on a scout. I'm going to give you the Planet Head guarantee 99.999% of the time, you will not be gate camped or shot with your main ship. Now your scout might die, but but so simply put, that's all I got. There are a lot of other ways that you can avoid gate camps. There's a lot of third-party websites that actually post up with gate camp information. I try not to rely on those too much. I try not to rely on third-party sites a whole lot. Um, Even my marketing I haven't done, but I'm not saying they're wrong. Use them, abuse them, do whatever you want to do. It's just something I don't do a whole lot of. But if any of this helped you guys, if I help save one person um, from getting their, especially one newer player from getting shot, that's all this video was for. So I appreciate you guys. I got some videos that I want to bring out here fairly soon. In general, um, I do have a reply video for the Planet Head's Garage that I want to do within the next couple of days. Got some really great comments on that. Um, so I'll be hitting that up here fairly soon. Going to continue on with the story of this. I do want to do instant videos like I tried to do on Thursday. I just didn't have to be non-sick and with it. I'll get this posted up here in a little bit so I can get out by my 11 o'clock deadline, and I'll try to make a couple more videos over the next couple of days. So other than that, guys, hey, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly out that you want. I will talk to you soon. Have a great one. Bye bye.